Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. I am finishing up this little mini-series pertaining to the disinformation, misinformation superstars, Harry and Meghan. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, I highly suggest that you go ahead and watch those first, as you might be a little bit lost, not too much, but a little bit, going through this video. In parts 1 and 2, I have shown the scary details of the global push to clamp down on people's freedom of speech and thought, and highlighted the censorship industrial complex's active role in violating people's rights in the US. I've also shown how Prince Harry is aligned with a lot of the organizations that are featured on this graphic. His engagement and collaboration since 2020 should not be ignored. The work of two people who hold foreign titles of another country have been driving policy change to suppress and penalize Americans' First Amendment rights. Prince Harry's lobbying for policy reform in the online digital space with the support of UK organizations is regarded as a violation and threat to American civil rights. It does appear that the UK has a heavy hand and influence here in this censorship industrial complex, especially since we have a UK prince on US soil interfering with our US government supporting the current country's corrupt regime. A kind reminder that Harry openly stated he knew about January 6th and nobody from our government has pulled him in for questioning.
Prior to January the 6th, where I warned him that his platform was allowing a coup to be staged. That email was sent the day before, and then it happened, and I haven't heard from him since.
Harry has done work that was contracted by the US government through Aspen Institute and is connected to the targeted campaigns that have removed people's speech, specifically conservative speech, on social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Harry's access to high-level government officials and potentially sensitive user data as a result of being a part of this censorship industrial complex should be a major security concern for Americans. The work that he and his evil wife are doing through their Fugazi public charity should alarm Americans, as they are not only preying on the youth, but exploiting them in order to satisfy their agenda in tearing down America's First Amendment and Fourth Amendment rights with this aggressive policy reform in this online digital space. Looking at this recent publicity stunt with this youth brigade that they are backing, along with the usual suspects from the left side, on the surface with its flowery language as well as sugary sweet positivity, there lies a very sinister agenda for Harry and Meghan. You have these bright young individuals with so much promise that are being used to fulfill, and I'm not going to even say leftist anymore, I'm going to say this is a global agenda that they are driving. This is 1937 Germany all over again, and it's scary. Now, I'm not going to condemn the entire program, but I will condemn Meghan and Harry because there's a purpose behind, out of the 26 organizations that were chosen to give money to, the 5 that Meghan and Harry chose have a very specific purpose that should scare everyone. I've said this in parts 1 and 2. The whole name of the game is getting access to people's data and getting around people's privacy rights. Here in the United States, the Fourth Amendment prevents unlawful searches and surveillance. The ones you see highlighted in red are the ones that Meghan and Harry chose to spotlight in that mini video that they did. Each one they chose either is pushing legislative reform, changing behavior, or actually being able to collect data. Starting off with the Young People's Alliance Education Fund, they claim that they empower young people through student-led organizing and advocacy. Our student advocates work at colleges across North Carolina, state legislators, and on Capitol Hill to amplify youth voices.
Because I think young people are going to need to be heard
in order for politicians to take action on this issue.
Next up, we have Encode Justice, and they're a coalition of youth activists and changemakers fighting for human rights, accountability, and justice under AI, harnessing a global network of volunteers from all over the United States and world. They continue on. They champion for informed AI policy and encourage youth to confront the challenge of the age of automation through political advocacy.
I got involved in a legislative advocacy initiative in my home state of California here in the US. And
Then we have two organizations that are actually one, the Log Off Movement and Design It For Us. It's the same shit. As you can see on their website, all they talk about is lobbying and regulation and reforming the online space with Gen Z.
You know, so many different opportunities have presented itself to really uplift our message and to continue our work to inform legislation and to create a safe online.
I hope you're noticing a theme. There were other well-deserving people that they could have spotlighted, but they chose not to. Like, for instance, Our Scription to Addiction. This couple has a production company, and you would think that they would help young filmmakers out in supporting a documentary that is a part of this program. Like, the stupidity of Meghan is beyond. Or how about Connected Camps? Like, don't they have two kids that are going to have to go to school and learn? Don't you think they would want to educate them and support promoting and bringing awareness to this project? Or how about they drop supporting equity and support equality and support an organization that's trying to give access to children who don't have access to technological advances, whether it be internet, whether it be robotics, in order to help them learn? Oh, that's right, because Meghan doesn't believe that people should be equal. We have to make sure that this gap is stretched even farther than it is because she is so superior to all of us. So instead of supporting equality and helping kids have access to the same technologies as kids who are in wealthier communities have access to, they're going to support an app that is designed to stop cyberbullying.
Can we actually stop the cyberbullying at the source with the cyberbully via a behavioral approach that actually teaches young people to pause and rethink?
This is amazing. This is exactly why we do what we do. This is exactly why the Youth Power Fund was created.
Does anybody believe that the king and queen of bullying are interested in stopping cyberbullying? No, they are interested in this app and the technology as well as the capabilities of what it has been doing. I genuinely believe that Trisha Prabhu wants to do good in this world, and it's why she created this app. But sadly, money-grubbing, power-hungry opportunists got a hold of her.
My name is Trisha Prabhu, and I'm from Naperville, Illinois.
In 2019, Trisha went on Shark Tank and scored herself a deal.
Luckily, with my app, Erica can rethink her decision. Much better. By taking an extra second to pause, review, and rethink, Erica ultimately makes the better decision. Rethink stops cyberbullying by stopping hurtful messages before the damage is done. If an adolescent tries to post something offensive on social media or text someone a cruel message, my Rethink app is able to detect that that message is offensive and then provide the adolescent a second chance to reconsider their decision.
So Erica, she gets that pop-up message comes up.
Correct.
Rethink. What if she just hits OK? Can she still send it?
Absolutely. So we're not taking away anyone's right to express any of their feelings or opinions. They can still post that message if
So
they
you're
like.
simply giving them that extra time to rethink.
But did Erica have to sign up for your app?
So that's a really great question. Why would cyberbullies download Rethink? That's why we target two main groups, educators and parents. Those are the people that are looking right now for solutions to cyberbullying.
So, of course, she's going to say, yeah, no, we're not going to take away your right to express because that's your right and you should be free. But you know what? We're going to force the behavior through your teachers because once we put this curriculum into the schools, because it is part of an educational behavioral platform, it's going to be driven down that way. So you have the freedom to decline and continue to send out whatever posts that you want to send out. But there are analytics around it. So Mrs. Jones may look at Tommy hateful and see that he has not been utilizing the recommendations because the analytics say that 1 out of every 10 times that they warn him is the only time that they're taking that advice. Maybe he should up his increase in accepting the alternative. So at some point, they're going to force this behavior of the preferred speech so you get in line. And this is why Meghan and Harry like this app. It's because if they can get it adopted onto the phones, and let's not forget that this app does collect a tremendous amount of data, even though this girl does swear up and down that they don't collect data. When you read the privacy statement, it does indicate how much data that they collect, and that if you agree to this service, then you are acknowledging that you accept them collecting all this types of data, which I will show you now in a second. While it may have been true that back in 2017 they weren't actively collecting data, that's a very different story today. In fact, back in 2016, they're very specific in saying that they do not collect people's data in their privacy policy. Fast forward to 2023, there's all types of data that they are collecting, and this privacy agreement really is to waive your rights and if they do breach it, from security aspects of it, as well as taking that data and selling it to other people. What's highly alarming about this app is that the software is actually on your keyboard of your device, or whether it be What's alarming about this app is that the actual software is on the keyboard of your device, meaning anything that you are typing to anyone, whether it be in text, whether it be on social media, whether it be in an email, this software is secretly spying on everything that you're saying. It literally is Big Brother watching you for kids. And if they are getting legislation passed around hate speech and making sure that you're not offending anyone, then it could possibly move over into the space of adults and where your speech is being monitored by an app, because just in case you say something wrong, you don't want to get arrested or be fined. So why not have that safety there? But then again, this app is also collecting your data. It's collecting who you're talking to. The app is specifically asking for your permission to read your contacts and read the contents of whatever's stored on your USB. It's also asking permission to look at the contents of your photos and media files. Like, this is a gross invasion of privacy. Even though Prabhu swears up and down, as she did in 2021 for Vogue India, stating that the core function of Rethink Keyboard is to read what you type on different apps and websites and review it to detect any offensive content, Prabhu confirms that it does not collect any information. And that's bullshit, because how are you going to provide analytics on what the students or kids are doing if you're not collecting data? And it's also clear as day in the privacy and end user service agreement that you're signing.
If you want to get this into as ubiquitous a position as possible, working with a carrier, the best way to go.
Absolutely.
The reason for that is they can put it on a phone as a default option. It can come pre-installed. They can then offer it to consumers, to parents. This is a kid-friendly phone, or we sell a kid-friendly version. Is that a viable option to you?
Something that I would be open to, and with your guidance, with your expertise, I can make those decisions.
What do you got, Mark?
And here is why I'm not a fan of this app. I understand that its intent and its purpose is meant for the good, but let's remember we have Harry and Meghan backing this product. If you look at this part of the privacy and end user agreement, it does state how they use your personal data. And at the top, those are some reasonable things. However, when you get to the bottom of this, where it says, we may share your personal information in the following situations. And if you see with service providers, with business transfers. Now, the next one is interesting. With affiliates. We may share your information with our affiliates, in which case we will require those affiliates to honor this privacy policy. Affiliates include our parent company and any other subsidiaries, joint venture partners, or other companies that we control or that are under common control with us. With our business partners, we may share your information with our business partners to offer you certain products, services, or promotions. You notice the affiliates and the business partners are where I have the biggest concern. Meghan and Harry are affiliates and business partners. They gave money to this company, which means that they could have access to the end user data. To me, I feel that's so incredibly dangerous considering this couple legitimately wants to cancel anyone who is not in alignment with their false narratives or even the crap that they keep pushing, even though they don't adhere to it or believe it and do the exact opposite. I can't get behind a product in which the two people who are backing it are certified nasty individuals who have been bullying so many people online with their Sussex squad. I think it's super important that parents, if you're seeing this in your school, boycott this. Boycott it and explain to them that you cannot have people who have nefarious activity from behind the scenes be supporting something like this because you don't want the data to fall into the wrong hands. And we all know that Meghan and Harry are opportunists and they will take whatever they can to make a profit. Meghan and Harry have been really forcing themselves onto the kids, and they are backing legislation, let's not forget, in California in this lawsuit. What more evidence is it going to take for Congress to kick this man out of our country? As you can see, I've laid this out in a 3-part series going into detail of his involvement with the censorship industrial complex and the attempts that he has been making with his wife in order to push regulation and legislation in reformation of the online space. Which leads me to the last person that they chose, which is Tazin Khan. She is the head of Cyber Collective. Now, Cyber Collective, interestingly enough, is not mentioned on the Youth Brigade website of receiving one of these grants. Not sure if that's a mistake or being omitted, but she was featured in this video with Meghan and Harry. It really is no surprise why Harry and Meghan chose Cyber Collective because they're all about privacy and protection, but we all know that Meghan and Harry don't care about other people's privacy. Now, with this, you can see why Harry would want to support this organization because Cyber Collective advocates for stronger privacy protections in the US. Their petition includes diverse subcommittees. I want you to understand that diverse subcommittees, let's not forget that the bill that they're trying to pass through of having this new federal agency set up wants the FTC to be aligned with it because of the information and data that they will have access to. And from what we have seen from how the FTC had been weaponized, I'm sorry, but more access given to the FTC around end user data, I think is a little concerning and scary. And I don't want to crap on Cyber Collective. It's the fact that you have two vipers that are supporting this organization and they have ulterior motives. Clearly, I have outlined that in the 3-part series that this is all towards pushing us to getting to a place where our privacy rights are violated, our First Amendment rights are, violated. And Harry and Meghan are really pushing to make these violations legal. This whole one world global communism is happening because of these kinds of efforts. And I know a lot of people want to stick their head in the sand and not pay attention because it makes them uncomfortable or they're just bored because they don't believe that it's happening. But it is happening. Clearly, I'm showing you the activity that Meghan and Harry have been engaged on the last 3 years and are making certain types of inroads, which is not a good sign. It makes me so uncomfortable when I see these two preying on the youth. And that's because they have evil and selfish intentions, and the harm that they have caused to their own family should be an indicator for people to stay far away from anything that they touch and anyone working with them. It doesn't matter if these two split or not. Harry is on this crusade, and he should not be allowed to do that here in this country. But what do you guys think? I know everyone thinks that Harry and Meghan are clowns, but we should really be taking this more seriously. Anyhow, definitely leave your thoughts and feedback below. And you know it, as always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.